These are the days I really hate doing videos. It just caught us off guard here. You can see today, what is that, 30,000 Bitcoin right here, this red candle right there. Tons of people got wrecked out there today. First thing this morning, if you go through this on the hourly, this chart, look at this, right at, started at 6 a.m. You had 2,500. 7 a.m. you had 7.3 thousand. 8 a.m. 2.37, and then 9 a.m. 2.34. And the biggest dip was there at 7 o'clock this morning when it wicked down. When it came down here, right down here. So pretty big crash there this morning. It was wedging up. You could see this wedge this morning happening, and sure enough, it just plummeted right out. And a lot of it, if we go over here to liquidations, look at this, $681 million in liquidations over the last 24 hours. That's up 262% since yesterday. And look at the volume, see what happens? You get a big dip. Look at all the buyers coming in now. Volume, 224 billion, plus 54%, by the dip. A lot of people, once a big crash comes in like that, you usually get a pretty decent rebound. And you can see that from Bitcoin here, from, just from when it hit the bottom. It came back up in this wedge again. It shot back up 5% right off that bottom there. So, there's a lot of tokens out there. We go over the crypto bubbles. This is within the last hour. Look at these. This is where you can make some nice gains when you hit a bottom. It doesn't feel real good buying at that point, but that's where that's what they always say. Always buy when it makes you sick to your stomach to even think about buying, and sell when you want to when you're open for higher prices and you don't want to sell. So kind of really makes sense, to buy when when it doesn't feel good, you know what I mean? When the market feels like crap, just like this morning, If we come over here, pretty good article out here, what caused Bitcoin's 10% crash, Matrix port, Jim Cramer, leverage. Bitcoin cratered almost 10% below $41,000 early Wednesday around the time of Matrix Port's report about potential spot Bitcoin ETF rejections. But it was more likely due to a leverage flush as the market overheated, a K33 analyst said in an interview. You can go down. Bitcoin dropped almost 10%. Around the max when Matrix Port published a contrarian report forecasting the SEC would reject all spot Bitcoin ETF applications this month. The pullback was more likely due to a typical leverage flush as the market became overheated than any individual's views, a K33 research analyst said in an interview. I know this was up at 40. Open interest was above 40 billion yesterday when we looked at that, Bitcoin's swift Wednesday decline reminded investors of the asset's downside volatility, with observers quickly pointing to a research report predicting rejections for highly anticipated spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds in the U.S. And even CNBC host Jim Cramer's comments as potential triggers. That's funny. I had somebody message me yesterday, said Jim Cramer's bullish on Bitcoin, better sell, I guess. However, overzealous bullish bets on a continued rally primed the market for a pullback, analysts told CoinDesk. Bitcoin dropped to a low of 40,800 from around 45,000 within hours during early Wednesday. CoinDesk data shows roughly around the time when Singapore-based digital asset firm Matrix Port published a report penned by Marcus Thielen forecasting the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to reject all spot Bitcoin ETF applications, overturning its Tuesday outlook projecting an imminent approval in a Bitcoin rally to 50,000. Jihan Wu, co-founder of Matrix Port, said the report was unlikely to trigger the crash and pointed out weakness in crypto-related stocks over the past few days, potentially foreshadowing faltering momentum for digital assets. It's unrealistic to believe that a Matrix Port report could trigger a $1 trillion size market crash, Wu posted on X Wednesday late afternoon. Yeah, you don't want to be blamed for that. We also experienced an unprecedented drop in crypto stocks for consecutive trading days. While Bitcoin's price remained stable, Wu added these events predating Marcus Thielen's report appeared to have less impact and got less attention. Analysts refuted Matrix Port's contrarian argument, saying there was no evidence that the regulators would reject the application and giving higher odds for an eventual approval. Consequently, Bitcoin's price recovered from Wednesday's lows to around 42,900 by afternoon. Right now we're at 42,853, but we're still trading nearly 5% lower over the past 24 hours. Several of their supporting arguments are non-cynical. Three of their most confusing and questionable claims: that the bull run was kicked off by Franklin Templeton's September ETF filing. They write, there was now more than one big traditional... I'm not going to click on that, but the rapid decline came within a day of CNBC host and former hedge fund manager Jim Cramer's positive comments about Bitcoin, walking back on his negative outlook in October. While it's unlikely to be, observers didn't fail to single out his comment in hindsight as a sign for falling prices, riffing on a popular meme of Cramer's internet-famous track record of backfiring takes. For instance, Bitcoin is still up roughly 60% since his October remark. All right, and they go down here. Leverage. Yeah, leverage can absolutely do that. You know, nearly 560 million of leveraged long derivatives trading positions, bets on higher prices with borrowed money has been wiped out through Wednesday until press time, the highest amount in at least 3 months. CoinGlass data. That's what I use here, guys. CoinGlass right up here. That's what we use when we look at this stuff. $681 million in liquidations. All right, so yeah, pretty crazy out there. Open interest. You know, this gives you Bitcoin here. Open interest, 430,000 Bitcoin, 18.4 billion. Yeah, so it goes through all of them here on Binance, Bybit, everything it goes through on here. All the exchanges it lists on here. So, yeah, it's pretty. I love CoinGlass. CoinGlass is pretty awesome. But, yeah, that open interest was, I mean, the leverage was getting extremely high. Yeah, you know, it's still up here, you know, open interest, still at $37 billion. You know, 681 million. That's still a big liquidation, but surprised it wasn't a little bit higher. So, but I also read articles where they're expecting right here. Crypto quant analyst last week said that a spot Bitcoin ETF approval is likely to happen and potentially be a sell the news event that could pull Bitcoin to $32,000. You know, they said it might not be approved, you know, in January, but they're looking down the road a couple months here. Right here it even says LMAX strategist Joel Kruger said in an emailed note that the overwhelming consensus is that an approval for a Bitcoin ETF in the US is a matter of when, not if. This person here was of similar opinion, saying that a denial seems highly unlikely based on Grayscale's court win and all back and forth between the SEC and issuers leading to updated S1s and cash creations. Yeah, I mean, Gary Gensler's been taking a beating about what he's been doing to crypto. I mean, he has been enemy number one as far as in the United States, you know. Be nice to get him out of the SEC. I would really like to see that. That man has caused more heartache in this industry. I mean, when he filed that lawsuit against XRP, I don't know how many of us holding 30,000 XRP or something at the time, and that they, right when it was around Christmas. I'll never forget it, and that lawsuit dropped, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" You know what I mean? Right when XRP's price was starting to move, and unfortunately, I had to dump it. I had no choice. It ended up running back down to, I forget what it was, 30 cents or something. Not even 100% sure what it ran down to, but that was frustrating. All because the SEC, you know what I mean? And then they come out with all this other stuff, but, Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. And of course now XRP, is not a security. So maybe they'll lay off the suing the crypto market. You know what I mean? Pushing all of this business out of the United States just seems just totally ridiculous to me. I could go on forever about this stuff. I really could. It makes me just frustrates me. All right, within the last hour here, guys, you can see the crypto market starting to pop back here. I know a rough day. It really put a beat down on all of our breakouts. It had a bunch of breakouts going on. It pushed everything back. So life goes on. We got to move on. It is what it is. And let's take a look at this chart, okay? See what's going on here. The good thing is, if we open this up and look at the bigger picture here, we're right back in this wedge. Okay, so we got pushed down out of it. It could have been a lot worse, technically, if it would have lost this support. I mean, look how long, the support has been running up here for quite a while, since October. The support line has held, and if we would have lost it right here, that would have been really tragic. I mean, this thing would have really pulled down, right? But it has bought and sucked right back up in there. If you go on a 1 hour chart, all right, you can see that I got bought up pretty quick. All right after this massive dump, you can see the buyers down here, the buy volume that came in right down here at the bottom. All right, you can see the green, not tons of it, but definitely some buyers. Then on the 4 hour there, boy. Yeah, I hate to see them big red candles. I mean, that's the most selling that has happened in a very, very long time. That dump right there. Some people, and to go back on yesterday, I was talking about that whale that dumped his Caspa. Makes you wonder, some people have, them big money players, some of them have, more insight than others. And do I believe market makers and people can manipulate the crypto price? Absolutely. Well, I believe that 100%. You know what I mean? There's market makers out there that push the price up and down, and I guess we were due for a reset. That flush that'll help reset the the leverage and hopefully it'd be more of a stable run up here now. But you hate to see a breakout like this. You know what I mean? This breakout looked like a perfect retest coming down here to a 702 and then a bounce. That's exactly what looked like was happening, and it just collapsed right down through there. So now we're basically, not starting from scratch here, but let's take a look. Look at all that buying yesterday too. 29,500 Bitcoin. And then 30.7 thousand sold today. Look at that. Two biggest green candles on a daily. We've had for quite a while, since back in October, and back to back, big run up and then a big crash here. All right, so let's take a look at these RSIs. That daily it's right on the verge of flipping bullish here. It's still or bearish. It's still bullish. It's at a 62 and a 51. All right, the 12 hour. Is coming down. The 8 hour is coming down. The 4 hour is reset. Okay. Definitely, I don't want to see it lose this level right here, guys. That 42, 200. I want to see it hold that level. Okay, that's right down. Let me go on a daily here and make sure that's right where I want it. Yeah, that's exactly where I want it. That 42,200 bucks. That's this yellow line right here, this bright yellow one. I don't want to see it lose that. Okay, that's the bottom edge of this wedge. I want to see it hold that price. Okay, this daily, if we can get this to turn back up. Do we have any bullish divergence here? Boy, it really pushed us down there. We're at a 37 on the 1 hour on the RSI down here at the bottom, which that's great to see. 4 hour is down to 41. Okay, so that's oversold. It's at a 46 on the 8 hour. The 12 hours at a 48. All right, and our daily is at a 51. Okay, so you can see that higher high in price. You had a little bit bearish divergence there too. Didn't really, right there you had this high right here on price and a higher high on price and a lower high on the RSI. So any kind of breakout of here, I'm going to keep that on there because any kind of breakout above this, it's just like a trend line. Any kind of breakout above there would constitute a breakout. Now, a couple ways you could actually look at this thing. Was that a breakout there of that resistance right there? Before this, this big push up. Yesterday, that's what that was, that big push there. Yesterday, okay, then the big pullback. Are we still, unbelievable. Let me pull that back up here real quick, guys. I apologize, because I really want to look at that. Let's close this one out. Just take a second. This is the one I want to look at right here. Just 1 second. Every single time I do a video, it happens to me. I don't understand how. I can look at these charts all day and never do it once. And as soon as I go do a video, it happened to me yesterday during a video. Crazy. The orange. Alright, line 2. There we go. Alright, we're back in business here. Now, what I was pointing at here, let's make this bigger. Alright, was this trend line right down through here. Right there, okay? Now that was yesterday. That was yesterday's breakout. Here's today's pullback, okay? And we're still holding that trend line on the RSI, so I'm holding a little bit of hope here for a bounce here, okay? This could be actually a little bit tighter. You see how, reject right here, rejection, 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 rejection. Yesterday's breakout, pullback. Now, is it going to bounce from here? We'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to keep that on that RSI here, okay? We'll see. If this daily rolls over and just falls back through the support, then that tells me that it's not going to hold up. But as long as it holds this support on this daily, like if this thing comes down and bounces off of here, then it looks like Bitcoin could rebound. So, but one good thing is we're back in the wedge here. We'll just have to play it step by step here, guys. Right now we need to hold that 42,200 bucks. That'll keep us inside that wedge. Any kind of break up, above, geez, what would it be? Above 43.8. Then we got another breakout of this upside of the wedge. But we might bounce around in here a couple days. We'll see what happens. All right, thank you so much, guys. You have these days. It's the way it goes. Life of a crypto trader. Sometimes that comes back to bite us. So, all right, we'll move on. All right, have a great day, everybody. We'll be back on the positive side here real soon. Talk to you soon, guys.